Have you ever had a moment when a strong emotion just took you over? Anger, panic, deep hurt, and you did or said things that later you regretted. You calmed down, you looked back and thought, what was that? Maybe even with some shame, guilt, or confusion. If sometimes your emotion take control of you like that and you start feeling that you're too emotional, too sensitive, too much, or just unable to control your own reactions, then this video is for you, because what you're experiencing is not solved by willpower or by promising yourself that next time you will react differently. It's called an emotional flashback, and it's need a completely different approach that I'm about to share with you, because I was experiencing emotional flashbacks most of my life without knowing what they were. And even if I was in therapy for years, no one ever named it for me. And I was using different standard approaches to learn to manage the states without arriving to the real root cause. But only after I found out and understood what emotional flashbacks are and how they work and start using different approaches, I was finally able to start solving this issue. And that's how it starts. You can solve this problem by having an awareness about what it is, and once you have an awareness, you understand a different approach that I will share here with you. Emotional flashbacks is a trauma response, and very often it's a trauma response on something that you may not even remember. You may think that you didn't even have any trauma, because those are certain things that happens in our childhood, sometimes very early, and this situation may not even look like dramatic or something too serious that you never connect in your mind. That's what happening with you here and now is connected to something that happened in the past. The other confusion is that people sometimes think of trauma flashbacks as some vivid memory with visions and understanding very clearly the specific moment of the trauma. And this is common also with traumas, but emotional flashbacks, they work a bit differently. You may not have a memory, you may not have any vision, you just have very strong emotions that you can't control, and sometimes they feel disproportional to what happens, or maybe you not always even understand that they're disproportional. You just for some reason perceive something that other people think that's nothing major, you perceive as something very strong because it triggers in you some deep pain from the past that you're reliving here and now. It works like this, that some trigger reminds you of some pain or some trauma, some problem in the past that were not healed, not processed, and all your body, all your nervous system, these emotional states, they are reliving this here. So you're not living the emotions that is caused by things that happened here. You're reliving the emotions and the states of, very often, of a child, of something that happens in the past. How can it work? It can work, for example, when you have some anger explosions on something that may be not that bad and strong, and you maybe not understand why you're getting that angry. It can happen with anxiety, with strong fear. Sometimes panic attacks can be also a sign of an emotional flashbacks, and that's what was happening with me in the past a lot. I had panic attacks, and with them it's especially difficult to understand the trigger. A lot of people don't know what triggers that strong panic and strong fear, but your body is reliving some terror as something life-threatening, that you feel that you will die now. And this could be extremely early memory, maybe even before you were 2 years old, or even earlier, that you don't even remember, that some situation was perceived by your system, by your body, is life-threatening. You may have very strong emotions, like maybe some conflict or something upsets you, and you start crying a lot, and this pain is so strong that it feels like unmanageable, you can't handle it. And that's something that was also happening with me. I was catching this moment of after certain conflict, crying really strongly, couldn't stop, and then I felt like in my body, like in my throat especially, that's the child's cry. I felt like I'm not crying here like an adult woman. This is almost the scream of a helpless child. And when I saw it, and I start recognizing this, like, oh wow, this is a flashback, and awareness is helping here a lot. Like, you're looking at it and you see it, it's not really happening here. My body or my system is reliving something from the past, and when I change the awareness to what's happening, instead of following what's happening like in the current moment, I saw a memory. I saw different moments from my childhood when I was crying and screaming like this and no one was coming to help me. And just this realization already kind of breaking the cycle of trying to fix something here, maybe with some people who are involved, and going deep inside. It's like this with almost with all strong emotions that take you over, and when you see that reaction is much stronger than it should be, or that you really lose control. That's two signs how you can say that it may be an emotional flashback. So when you understand the mechanism, the main mechanism is that you reliving something from the past, your system is reacting on a trigger that reminded something from the past, something that was not processed, was not healed. It's happening because sometimes as children one can be really frustrated by something, and our nervous system is not developed yet to be able to process these big painful things. And sometimes there is no one, like no adult, not anyone who is there with us in the calming, accepting state. And we don't receive, like our body, the body of a child learns a lot from the body of the mother. The nervous systems are kind of communicating, and if when you have strong emotion, there is a mother or someone else who will take care about you, is in a regulated, calm state and can meet you in the moment with your emotion, what you experience, and accept it and say that it's normal to feel like this when this is happening, and stays with you regardless of your strong emotions, then you start learning how to regulate yourself. Your body learning, your nervous system is learning, and overall you getting the skill to process it. But very often we have situations when it's never happened, or in some situations it happened but in some others not, and we stuck with these unprocessed emotions. They still looking for a closure. These moments, and they could be many, some of them could be more severe, some less severe. And the solution here is first recognizing when you don't have an emotion, like for example now you're watching the video and you understand, like, yeah, I may be experiencing flashbacks, maybe these specific emotions, they are telling about something from the past. Then when you're with emotion, if you already know it, it will be easier to kind of switch on this awareness and start observing, like, I'm reliving something very strong. And when you're already switch the approach, the vision about this, you observing the feeling, the emotion, the body, and you learning to be this adult that can regulate your system. So the steps are awareness first, then disconnecting what happened here and now from what you're experiencing and put all the attention to what you're experiencing. It can be really difficult and you may have to practice it several times, but just the shift of understanding will be already very helpful. You will be on the journey to healing this. You give attention to this and you give acceptance. Instead of thinking what's wrong with me, why I'm reacting like this, or blaming the circumstance and blaming others, you just give yourself full attention and presence of acceptance and curiosity. What is this about? First, giving it space, accepting the feelings in the body, accepting emotions, not doing things, just switching the focus inside, and asking, what is this about? Did I ever felt like this before? How old am I now? This emotion, like what age I'm now when I'm experiencing this? And slowly, you create this safe space where the emotion, you can relieve it, process it, and it can have certain closures. It may have to happen many times before it starts getting better, but once you have first relief, you already will have the sense of a power that you didn't lose yourself. And the most important thing is being compassionate with yourself and accepting, because judgment, blame, trying to control is what's creating more problem instead of solving it. Because what you need was acceptance and co-regulation. And that's something that you can do by yourself with practicing self-awareness, self-compassion, and learning how to process difficult emotions is already be helping. If you want to get some help, that's another way. Working with some professional, a coach or therapist or something can be helpful also on the healing journey, because if you're not able to give this acceptance, presence and compassion in the beginning to yourself, if you have someone else who not only give you tools and knowledge and understanding of the problem, but also this presence and this acceptance, this unconditional acceptance with no matter what you're feeling, with no matter what you're experiencing, someone that can hold the space, it can be really helpful. And during my life, I was using help a lot, but also doing a lot of work by myself. And if you want to have more free support on your healing journey, self-awareness and transformation, you can always subscribe to my channel, because I publish a lot of helpful content on the topic.